Welcome to Chapter 5, 5.1. The math that we're actually doing is going to be fairly straightforward for 5.1, but it's going to kind of take some time to explain. This table right here, if I were you, I would somehow screenshot that, take a picture of it with your phone, because we're going to refer to it a lot here. I'm not going to take a lot of time to explain why it all works, because you already did that in Algebra 1. I spent a lot of time going through it. It was kind of like proofs. If you remember geometry, I gave you the proofs as to why they work. So if you want that, I can tell you, but in the meantime, I'm going to keep going. So this is the kind of section back from your Algebra 1 days. By the way, this is 7.1 and 7.2 in your Algebra 1 notes, if you happen to still have those. Where we kind of had the call and response that normal numbers do normal number things. So, like for example here, I'm going to take this 2 times the negative 7 and recognize that normal numbers do normal number things, so that is just negative 14. Then I'm going to take the x's multiplied together. This is the product of powers rule. And according to the product of powers rule, I add the exponents. So I'm going to take negative 3 plus 5, which is x squared. Then do the same with the y's. 3 plus negative 6 is y to the negative third. Now, unfortunately, that is not our answer, because check out this rule over here, negative exponent. It turns out we don't like negative exponents, but you can just flip it on which side of the fraction it's on, and that will turn it positive. So like, see that right there? It was a negative a, now it's a positive a by just simply putting it on the bottom of a fraction. If it's on the bottom, you can put it on top, and then it becomes positive, assuming x doesn't equal 0. Here's some nice actual numbers and variables to look at. So what that means is that this y to the negative third, I'm going to move it down to the bottom of a fraction with negative 14x squared on top. Why? Because I'm moving y to the negative third on bottom, it becomes a positive y cubed. That's kind of a bad box. There we go. All right, 1b shows me the division. So let's check out quotient property, I suppose. The quotient property, if when you're multiplying you add, then when you're dividing you will subtract. So remember, normal numbers do normal number things. Do not subtract the normal numbers. This simplifies to just be negative 5. 15 divided by negative 3, so that does go on top. C cubed, I'm subtracting the exponents. 5 minus 2 is 3. D to the negative fourth is what I get when I have 3 minus 7. Of course, I don't like negative exponents. Alright, now I want you to take note of the fact that I did leave the negative on top up here. The reason I did that is because, again, I don't like negative exponents. Negative numbers are fine. It's an exponent that we don't like, and if I recall, if there's not an exponent written, I can assume it's 1, so that 5 actually has an exponent of 1, which means it's positive. Do not move it to the bottom. Alright, if you have an exponent on the outside of some parentheses, I want you to just distribute it into everything you see, so that this becomes a to the negative third over 4 to the negative third. Of course, I'm going to have to crisscross applesauce, switch those. That's not 216, it's 64, my bad. Okay, same thing here. I want you to distribute that. The answer is going to be this here. Okay. All right, the next part of what we're going to do, I think you will appreciate, because it's basically combining like terms. But first, let's talk about the degree of a monomial, or the degree of a polynomial. The degree of a polynomial is the degree of the monomial, or one of the little pieces separated by addition or subtraction signs, with the biggest degree. So when you find the degrees, you're just going to add the exponents together. So like when I'm looking at, let's do 2b. This y has an exponent of 1. So the degree of this monomial is 6. 5 plus 1 is 6. You do not add the exponents of the constants, only the variables. So this one is 7. This one is 2. How'd I get 2? 1 there, 1 there. So if the degree is the monomial with the greatest degree, the biggest number that I saw over here was this 7. So that means the degree is 7. Okay. Kind of did that funky, but there you go. All right. These next 6 questions are going to be a breeze for you because it's literally rules you already know. Simplify. Get rid of as many parentheses as you can. Combine like terms. All that good stuff. Check it out. If they're telling me to subtract them, this is a great spot for my super secret ninja move, where I will be adding the opposite, which means I get to change the signs on the inside. So negative x squared, negative 2x, negative 5. And that's going to give me negative x squared plus negative x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 3x to negative 2x is negative 5x. And 4 and negative 5 is negative 1. So there you go. Okay, just combining like terms there. The next, so this one's the same. I'm not going to worry about doing it. Here, it's just the nice distributive property. You know how to do that. I'm not going to worry about it. And then this next one is just big fancy FOIL property or distributive property there. So that's how you multiply, simplify, add polynomials. Tomorrow, we get to talk about the division of polynomials. So that's it for today.